What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about seller central addresses. So what's going to look like on the personal account, business account if you got an LLC or a corporation if you're in Canada or wherever you're at, bank account, and utility bill. Okay, so it's kind of sad we have to have this discussion because we're just talking about addresses, but Amazon is very picky. Seller Central is very picky. So we need to know what they want to see, and how to line everything up so you don't get rejected on your Seller Central application. Or if you're going through the re-verification process, which everybody does, it seems like once a year, we need to make sure this info lines up so we can actually get our account back at it, right? Even if you got rejected once with your Seller Central account, this is the first thing I'm always looking at to make sure everything lines up before I submit any documents that they want, or you'll just get rejected flat out, even if your documents are good. So let's go to the first scenario. Say you're going to set up a Seller Central account, right? Whether that's personal or with an LLC or a Canadian corporation, everything like that. So the first thing we need to know is that Amazon wants all the addresses, whether that's your personal address, your business address, your bank statement, or your utility bill. They want all the addresses on these documents to match up with your account. So if you already messed this up, don't worry. I'm going to tell you kind of how to fix this and what you can do to make sure that all lines up here later. But if you're just starting to set this up and want to know how to do it right the first time, here's kind of the first scenario, right? So say you're doing it your personal name, which actually is the easiest, but I recommend an LLC, right? So if we can form an LLC in our home state, that's perfect, right? Because our business address will line up with our bank address. It's at home. So if we need a utility bill, we can grab that pretty easily, right? Because you have access to that home, you have access to that mailbox. It's where you live. The con with this is that the address on your Seller Central account will be public information for anybody to go look at, right? If we go back into this seller right here, we could see their business address, which this is just a Chinese seller, right? We could see the Chinese address, but if you're selling, right, whatever address you put is going to be right here. This is actually a good way to, just to get off topic here, to go look if they're a Chinese seller, where they're located. If you're going to be competing with someone in China, India, US, Canada, wherever, it's a good way to find that out. But the con here, right? If you put your personal address, you do everything from home, this is going to be your home address. You probably don't want that information out there. I don't think it's a huge deal, but you know, the less people know, the better, right? So what I do is I form all my LLCs in Wyoming, right? I live in Tennessee. I've been in Colorado, Arizona. I've been all over the place, right? So it's best for me to have somewhere else where they handle it. You know, Wyoming has good privacy laws, everything like that. They're very affordable, and they give you a business address right here that includes mail forwarding, right? So some circumstances, to verify your address, Amazon will actually send you a PIN number through the mail, and you can actually get this scanned in from this service and get it sent back to you to get through that. So if you're forming an LLC, think about this. So again, everything is easiest if you do it in your home state, but if you need to go outside your home state, they'll give you a suite number. Now, we can't have a PO box number, anything like that. So it needs to be a suite number or a real address, which they do give you here. Going deeper into this, now it's really hard. So say you live in Tennessee and you have an LLC in Wyoming, to get a business bank account or a bank account in general to match up to this address. So most likely you're gonna have to put your home address on your business bank account. So this is where it gets mismatched, right? You already are at a disadvantage to go through Amazon's process. Also, if you need a utility bill, which don't worry about that until it pops up, because only like 30%, 40% of people need utility bills. It usually comes in the re-verification process. So don't worry about that until it comes up, okay? So just don't think about that right now. It's just too much stress, too much nonsense really for something that might not happen anyways. But if you are concerned about utility bills, the Delaware Business Incorporators here will actually give you a utility bill. They don't work all the time, but they do work. I've seen people get through this, but it's just another option for you if you're concerned about that. But going back to the business bank account, right? If we can't get the Wyoming address for our LLC to match on our business bank account, that's an issue. There's going to be a discrepancy there on Amazon. So what I recommend you do is actually set up the account all through your personal information at first, okay? So if your business bank account is matched up to your home address, put all your personal information in there. What Amazon's looking for is to either verify that you're a real human or you're a real business, right? So they're looking for identity, essentially. They want to know that you're real, and so they could tie a person, whether it's an LLC account to the Seller Central account or just a personal account in general. They need a real person behind there. And that's just part of their scam detection kind of process, everything like that. So we can get through, tell them we're a real human, get the account active, and then we could go back and actually put the business name on the account itself, which they usually make you go through another re-verification process, but it's a little easier to get through because they verified that you're a real human. And you just go back into your settings, change your address to your Wyoming LLC or wherever you got it from address, and usually you can get through that way, okay? Now, if you're going through the re-verification process and the documents you're about to submit that they're asking for, the address doesn't match up on the account, that's an issue too. So what I do in those circumstances is I just go back into my settings, whatever documents I'm giving them, whether it's utility bill, business information, whatever they want, I'm gonna go make sure that address is matched up in my settings on my account. I'm gonna switch that over, make sure the name matches too. Rather, if you're giving them documents that say your LLC name, the account should be in that LLC's name. If you can't get an LLC utility bill if they want it, or a business bank account, whatever it may be, and it's in your name, you switch the account to your name as well as the address that matches those documents. Once that's done, then you submit, okay? That's your first step. Hopefully they accept. Sometimes you can give them perfectly good stuff and they reject you anyways. That's just part of Seller Central and why I even have to make these videos, because they make it so damn hard. We all know it. We've all pulled hair out because of Seller Central before, but all that information needs to match up for you even to have a chance. So do it that way. That way, you know, if you get declined, it's probably not your address or anything in your account, but it's the documents themselves. Okay, then that's a whole nother can of worms to open up and go into. Now, once you get through this verification process, you replaced all the addresses in the back end, they match the documents you put in, you get accepted, and you're like, now my personal information's on Amazon, right? Anybody could see it. You just go back and change the address, okay? Now, just another note here, kind of off topic, this could be a 73-minute video going through all the scenarios. But if you have to change your business bank account information, you do have to make a case for that, right? So just know that moving forward, or they'll take down your account. You need to make a case to change your business bank account information, but not your address, okay? So hopefully you're not in a scenario where you have to change that. But if you do, that's what it's gonna take there. Now, this works the same way if you're in Canada, UK, Australia, wherever, right? Because they accept citizens of those countries. So you can have that all line up with your Canadian address, your Australian address, and do the same process there. Even if you have a US LLC or a Canadian corporation, it works the same there. Little tip for Canadian sellers, register on Amazon.ca. You'll get access to the whole North America marketplace anyways, the US, Mexico, Canada. It's a little cheaper to do it that way, and it's easier to get through verification because it just matches up. It's cleaner, right? .ca, you're a Canadian citizen, that's the information you're giving them, and you'll still have access to the US account if you want to sell there. All right, guys, I hope that shed some light on it. It's not perfect. The whole situation is not perfect. Seller Central isn't perfect. So I'm sure there's 1% of people out here. This is not, helpful, but hopefully 99%, this can help you, get re-verified. This can help you know what they're looking for. So at least when you submit the documents they're asking for, or you're setting up your account the first time, you actually know this part is taken care of, because when they reject you, they don't tell you why, right? So this is one thing that I commonly see, that when people are getting rejected with good documents, this is usually the reason why. If you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. Also, we have a free Facebook group, links down below, hop in there. I do live Q&As in there, as well as, community. Everybody's doing the same thing. And we work hard to make sure it's a high value group with nobody in there asking for you to buy their services or suppliers, freight forwarders, things like that, which we all know in Amazon FBA Facebook groups that they're just usually a mess. So we work really hard to make sure this is a high quality group, as well as to get your questions answered. That way you can move forward with this business. All right, guys, that's it. See you in the next one. Bye.